Welcome back to the 20-Sided Realms. A new chapter.
Yay.
A new story begins this day. Some voices are familiar.
Yay.
Some are completely brand new.
Mm-hmm.
But all of it is exciting. We are wiping the slate clean. We're in the same world, the world of Faerun, but no longer deep beneath the ground in the Underdark. No, nay. We find ourselves on the surface in the magical city of Waterdeep, specifically in the dock section of Waterdeep, and even more specifically in a nice little tavern called the Loaf and Kettle. And as our fantasy camera zooms into the Loaf and Kettle, we see four companions, friends, I don't know yet, but definitely four humanoids sitting around the table. One of them, obviously a cook, for he wears an apron and is bringing a pot. Blake, what is in the pot that Dolan is bringing to the table?
Yeah, you see, the Loaf and the Kettle specializes in the kettle. It's the big stew kettle, the soup kettle. So they specialize in soups and stews. It's Waterdeep famous because they take bread and they take the middle out of the bread and they put the soup or the stew in the bread. It's the Waterdeep famous bread bowl.
Revolutionizing the soup consumption of the land of Waterdeep. We don't know this now, but years later, this will actually start a terrible war. But we're not going to get to that right now. But that was the familiar voice of Blake. But you are playing someone new in this iteration of the 20-Sided Realms. And I stepped on his name. But why don't you give it to us?
Yeah, I'm playing a Dolan Shingle Splitter. And in addition to making a really tasty onion-based soup inside of a bread bowl, you understand that Dolan, he's not a young man anymore, but he's not an old man, okay? And he isn't physically what he used to be. And what he used to be was a bit of a rogue. He wasn't necessarily a bad guy or a murderer, but he had the ability to get things and steal them for people who paid him. And he's put on a little bit of weight. The thieving leathers don't fit anymore, so he's kind of changed that all out for a cooking apron and a friendly smile.
So he's a man with a past. And you see that past in his eyes. But there is a kindness to your face.
Absolutely.
And you seem to have really found your own in this new role as the cook in the Loaf and Kettle. So the first bread bowl that you heap a steaming cup of onion stew into is a diminutive figure. That's how you say that word, I'm sure. And a very small gnome accepts this massive bread bowl filled with probably enough stew to you could survive a week on this portion.
Feed tens of gnomes.
Absolutely.
Tons of gnomes.
And this is a new voice we are bringing. This is Raquel, who will be playing.
I am Penelope Dewberry III, but you can just call me Penny. I am a proud, adventurous, young 100-year-old gnome ranger. Survival expert, lover of the wild and animals, and on what we might call gnome springer, on a bit of a quest myself.
Yes, you've left the safety of your forest home to find an essential companion for your ranger's journey on your Gnomestetter. The most interesting or distinctive feature, I think, is the large conical hat that Penelope always is wearing.
It's very important, extremely important.
Yeah, not only for to help people not stepping on you while you're walking in the street, it adds much needed height and visibility to you. I'm sure it also has some important cultural notes for the gnomish people.
A gnome is given their cap very, very young. We are never to take it off other than bathing and sleeping. And it's actually very important for protecting us in the woods. If any sort of small twig or large leaf was to fall on me, it would help it slide right off the top of my head. So it's actually very important for safety reasons.
Form, function, and beauty all wrapped up into
Yes.
one perfect conical head covering. The next person that Dolan serves is, well, it is a mighty figure, a massive man who in dark contrast to Penelope, this bread bowl seems like merely a cup in this mighty barbarian's hand. A familiar voice, Ed. Who will you be playing in this adventure?
Hey, I'm going to be playing Kavan the Mighty, and he's a barbarian. He's searching. His tribe was destroyed. That he knows.
Oh, he's
Oh,
from the
no.
far north.
Yeah. His tribe was destroyed, and he's been on the trail of some drow, and it led him here, and now he's stopped because he's ran out of supplies, and he needs to rest up, eat, and maybe continue on his adventure.
Truly is a fish out of water. This noble barbarian northern tribesman seems out of place in the hustle and bustle. But you have found some companions to find solace. I think you found your first place of safety was inside the loaf and kettle.
Oh, yeah.
With the delicious taste of this onion soup.
The thing is that whenever we have 1 day old, 3 day old, 7 day old food, I could just give them to Kavan the Mighty, and he'll eat them down no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like part dog, part garbage disposal, part human shield if need be, if things get really bad.
And luckily at a greatly reduced price.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
Not free.
Things get a little rowdy in here, and I've helped clear up some of the riffraff.
Yeah, you easily became a useful figure in the loaf and kettle. Because
that's
the
the
loaf
thing.
and kettle, yeah.
That's the thing. You wouldn't think it, but sometimes the soup flows freely, and people get really, really loosened up. And, it gets a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you add capers.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss, and also you don't want to be at caper night.
Yeah.
The loaf and kettle is located in the dock ward, known as the less savory part, shall we say, of the mighty city of Waterdeep. Waterdeep has quite a varied, shall we say, stations of different cuts of life. There is some definite class divide in the city that can be found. But you find a solace here in the dock ward, and there is a young man at the table. You might say out of place, but with the craziness of the varied people that are already at this table, how could anyone be out of place? But there's a young man with flowing golden locks that are always perfectly coiffed, and a new voice that we're bringing. Brent, who will you be playing?
Well, I'll be playing Chaz Quartermain. So I am a teenage schoolboy, a bit of a troublemaker, a bit of a trickster, but overall fun guy. And until recently, I was attending a prep school up on the outskirts of Neverwinter. But unfortunately, somebody burned down the school recently. So right now, Chaz is on a little bit of a break, kind of a spring break sort of thing, while they rebuild the school up there. And yeah, came down to hang out down with these folks, seeing the world a little bit, maybe getting away from a few questions and inquisition sort of thing. But, I always did like bread bowls, and so I'm right at home here in the loaf and kettle making new friends. And now this is totally unrelated to the alleged arson, but Chaz has recently discovered that he has some magic within him, He is a wild magic sorcerer, and he's trying to get control of it, because if he can control it, that'll really help with his kind of fun loving attitude. Making old Dolan smell like Vicks Vapor Rub, and making other people smell like farts. And every once in a while, he's got this other spell, cantrip really, called Bonfire, and that's a lot of fun too. So
Fire's super fun.
fire is fun.
A good question. Does Chaz have any elven heritage? Is he
I mean, he's full human.
full human? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
He's so
his parents,
beautiful that
like,
sometimes,
yeah, his parents like hang out with elves sometimes. I think they're over in Silvery Moon. I mean, Chaz really doesn't see his parents much. He doesn't know if they love him per se, but the checks for the prep school are there on time every time. So room, board, education, back before the school burned down, all of that was there for the taking. But now Chaz is kind of off with his more meager allowance, kind of buying cheap bread bowls and figuring out what's next.
Speaking of money, that actually brings us to the current time. After Dolan has served up these bread bowls, he has something he wants to bring up to his fellow companions.
Okay, guys. You guys have known me now for, Kavan, we've been here a couple months together. Penelope, Chaz, a few weeks here. I haven't told you guys much about my past when I was a younger man. I may have made associations and contacts with people who might be a little bit dangerous. And now, I'm not a bad guy, but I used to do things for bad people. And I came to Waterdeep 15 years ago and put a mustache on my face, hoping no one would find me. But the other day, someone was in the kettle and loaf that I hadn't seen in a long time. And they didn't recognize me, probably because of my mustache. And it's been 15 years and about 45 pounds. But I kind of need to get out of town. And I need to get some money for that. And if I remember correctly, I heard there might be an opportunity to make some money. Is that right, DM Travis?
Absolutely. You heard of a man who has been asking for some help that he's willing to pay for. And you know that he is right now, currently, this very evening, in the very famous tavern, the Yawning Portal, located in the Castle District. Just a good 30-minute walk north of where you are right now.
And the Yawning Portal, out of game terms, that's like an iconic, like D&D lore, right? That's like
absolutely. When you
old
think
school.
when you think Waterdeep, you think the Yawning Portal.
Yeah.
It is an amazing, iconic establishment here in the City of Splendors.
So maybe I get off in about 15 minutes. Maybe you guys can finish up your bread bowls. It might be an opportunity to, I don't know, help me out. Maybe earn a little coin. Because Penelope, I notice your purse is getting smaller and smaller. Right?
It was never very large to begin with, seeing how I'm a gnome, but you're not wrong. This quest of mine has taken a bit longer than I expected, and funds are low.
And Chaz, you've never really worked too much in your life. As far as I know, this could be an opportunity to get some skills, young man.
I got nothing better going on tonight.
And Kavan, you have rang up a little bit of a personal debt with me. I mean, those bread bowls aren't free, but maybe this is a chance you can maybe pay me back in some to make sure everything's fine and I'm okay out there.
Oh yeah, I follow you. I follow the food.
With agreements made, the bread bowls are finished. The trek out into the crisp.
Real quick, so Do your characters, as they're eating, do they eat the soup first and then attack the bread bowl? Or do they eat the soup down to a certain level and then eat the bread around it and then continue the soup? And then you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, how do you approach the bread bowl?
I eat all the soup and then I eat the mushy bread. That's
Good.
my strategy.
Yeah.
No, I eat the soup, and then I break off pieces of the bread as I go down, dip it in the soup, and then I put it in my mouth.
I like to scrape the inside of the bowl and make like little floaty croutons, and then I wear the husk of the bread as a hat. Exclaims the old patron. He then places his empty bread bowl upon his head and walks out. I'm going fishing.
Chaz, how do you attack the bowl, Chaz?
You just saw me eat my bowl.
Okay. He's
Look, Dolan, you make a very good bread bowl, but you are not always so smart all the time, I gotta say.
okay.
You gotta be observant.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of things on my mind right now.
Chaz eats all the bread first, and then the soup. Wild magic. We cut to the four companions walking in the still brisk spring evening air of Waterdeep. Summer has been hinting its return, but it is not there yet. It is still rather brisk in the evening, and the streets are very bustling. You have to make your way up into the castle ward. You pass lots of guards as you enter into here. The streets of Waterdeep are fairly well patrolled. They have a famous set of laws that one must follow while in the street, in the city, and the four of you so far have done very well in following those laws and haven't really run into any problems. You come to the entry portal of the yawning portal. I said portal too many times. Now
Yawning grave.
Too many portals. You go through the threshold and you are greeted with the sounds of a revelry, the smell of ales and spiced meats. One of the most prominent features of the yawning portal is the bottom floor. It's multi-tiered. There's balconies and upper levels, but the bottom level is the most impressive, where the bar is and where the kitchen's located and where the majority of the tables are. There is in the middle a massive well, about 40 feet in diameter, but this well does not go down to fresh spring water, but it is actually an opening that goes to a place known as Undermountain. This city has quite the history. It is built like most things in this in the Forgotten Realms in the land of Faerun. Most things are built upon the bones of older civilizations. And beneath the city, there is a complex that was created by a mad, insane wizard of great power, and is also a big draw of the city. A lot of the city's wealth is due to the insanity that lies below the city. Adventurers come from all around to try and test their luck with the ever-changing maze of catacombs and rooms and wonders that lie beneath the city. And so there is a fun little contraption that's built upon this, a giant winch that for a nominal fee, the owner of this fine establishment will lower you down into the yawning portal, right into the smack dab in the middle of the Undermountain catacomb of mystical wonders. Currently, right now, the rope is all the way down, but there is no one currently descending. there's a big to-do that normally happens when this is happening. So no one's paying too much attention to the portal. It doesn't seem like anyone has had either not had enough drink or has had too much drink to even think of doing such a daring thing. It's quite easy for you to get a table, as the area is, although packed, it is quite spacious. And you are then, Dolan, you are looking about, trying to see your contact.
I tell you what, guys, I really hope this job doesn't involve us having to go down there.
Seems spooky.
Because I've heard of people going down, but I don't hear too often about people coming back up.
What normally happens to him?
Who knows? There's a whole wild, crazy, magical dungeon down there. Anything can happen. Have you heard of anybody coming back up?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been hanging out here for 15 years, man.
Exactly.
The serving person comes up. Oh, I've heard of people coming back up, but not entirely with all their limbs intact. Welcome to the awning portal. My name's Beth. I'll be taking care of you. Can I get you anything? Anything to drink? Anything to eat?
Do you have bread bowls here?
Bread bowls?
Yeah, like
No.
you take like a loaf of bread and you hollow it out and you put some soup in there.
She looks at you with like almost a disgusted look. No, we don't serve bread bowls here.
Not everybody is ready for that kind of advanced culinary techniques. But what you know what? Let me get.
We don't eat our utensils in this establishment, sir.
My apologies, Beth. Now, how about we get 5 of the signature dishes from the Yawning Portal?
She looks at the 4 of you and then at the mite that is Kevin, and she says, "Okay, that makes sense. 5 coming right up."
Dolan, this place smells way better than your place.
As you wait for your drinks to arrive, there seems to be a bit of a kerfuffle going on not too far from you. You see a striking figure, a half-orc. Well, I would say maiden, but that doesn't seem to be the right term. I would say a half-orc lady of mighty stature stands up. You would have to guess that she is close to 7 feet tall. And does seem a bit agitated. She is at a table. One of the things that you notice is 2 of the other people are completely shaved bald with some tattoos of eyes around their face, around their heads. Even as their backs are to you, there are tattooed eyes staring at you from their bald visages.
Is this something that any of us have seen before or heard of this?
Do you know what? Let's have our first roll of the night. Why don't you give me this would just be let's just do a straight up a wisdom check for you.
Oh.
For all of us, or
No, this will just be for Dolan.
No,
none of my gnome wisdom will contribute. That's fine.
Well, you're pretty new to the city, so it's very.
Oh yes, I'm a young lass, just 100. I've barely seen the world.
You've only been around the sun 100
I
times.
blew it. Wisdom. That's a 5.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
My best score. Rolling a 2.
So you are familiar that like, yeah, you've seen this around town, but you have been keeping a pretty low profile, and you haven't really been trying to familiarize or ensconce yourself in the unsavory elements of the city yet. So you know that this is probably some sort of gang affiliation because you've seen it before, but you don't know specifically what that all means. But as this striking half-orc lady stands up, her anger is quite apparent as she grabs one of these people by their collar and yells, "I can't believe you killed my mate," and begins to headbutt the person. This erupts into. There's actually a lot of joyous exclamations at this, as it seems that the night has been rather dull up until this point. A circle very shortly forms around this half-orcan person, and three of these tattooed face eyebalmen is what we call them.
The old Eibelman game.
The old Eibelmans. And a fight is breaking out. She is definitely, well, she's outnumbered, but you're not too sure if she's outmatched. What do the four of you want to do?
Yeah. I'm not going to get involved. I'm going to wait for my dish and just kind of keep an eye on everything.
I am concerned. I hate to see people fight, but at my stature, I just don't know what I could do. So I just kind of hold on to my cap and like kind of back around the corner of the table, and I'm pretty worried. I don't like to see people fighting.
Well, I'm gonna kind of reach into my pocket and pull out just a little bit of copper, and I'm just gonna like real low key kind of point at the orc lady, and send a message straight from my mind to hers, and just I'm saying to her, get him, mess him up, get him, yeah, you got this, get him.
As you do that, she stiffens and turns around, and at that point, it unfortunately allows one of them to get a good swing on her. Now, normally you wouldn't think that this
behind you,
that
Look
this
out behind
diminutive
you.
man would be able to do much damage to this half-orc powerhouse, but it appears that his fist was laden with brass.
The
And
Eibelman.
the Eibelman connects on her chin, and is actually the first blood is drawn as she spits out some blood. This brings her right back into the fight and almost seems to anger her even more. The man with the brass knuckles is soon. He is regretting that choice as she has lifted him up and thrown him very close to the yawning portal. Actually, so close that he has to grip the side because she almost cleared and tossed him into it. At this point, there is a horrible roar that seems to emanate from the yawning portal, as a green, slimy, scaly claw grips the side of the portal very close to where this poor Eibelman was thrown, as a massive, slimy form pulls itself out of the portal.
Troll!
It is easily discernible by all of you, whether it be education or just street knowledge. When one sees a troll, you know what you're looking at.
Oh no!
A terrible troll climbs out of the portal and is not alone. You see on the troll's back 3 massive insects that seem to have gorged themselves on the troll's blood. Along with it, several other of these massive insects are flying out of the portal as well. This, unlike the fight that broke up, this seems to start a little bit more screaming and less shouts and hollers of joy. Now, the downside is, when you first got here, you were very almost excited, maybe fortunate to get a table right next to the portal. But at this point, that has placed you also dangerously close to this horrible troll that has climbed out. This would put us into what I like to call a combat situation. Let us roll initiative.
Oh man! So there's a troll with like insects that like giant mosquitoes on its back, and then there's more bugs flying up too.
Yes. I
Ugh.
will give you the specific numbers quite shortly.
This is gonna get messy.
Are they more mosquito-like or tick-like? Or both?
More mosquito-like, because I mean they have like massive wings. So they are. If you're familiar, these are sturges in the realms of Dungeons and Dragons. A kind of like nasty giant fantasy mosquito.
Love it.
All right. So as this massive troll pulls itself out, just unfortunately mere feet from the table that the four of you are sitting on, Kevon the Mighty is the quickest to react. What do you want to do in this terrible situation?
Quick question.
Okay, so I forgot to define a few things. There's one troll.
Mm-hmm.
On his back are 3 sturges that are literally like attached to him, draining his lifeblood. And there are 3 more sturges that have flown out of the pit and are kind of spreading out, looking for fresh victims.
I can draw my weapon and still attack, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Listen,
All right.
This is the kind of town where walking around with a sword on your back is completely okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As soon as I started the commotion, I instinctively went for my weapon, and I'm just gonna swing on. I think a sturgis because they're probably faster. The flying ones might be faster than the troll climbing up.
Yeah. So like, yeah, the troll is kind of like across from you. It's like in between your table and another table, but you have a sturge like swinging, like flying right, actually coming right for you.
I'm gonna swing on that and try to slice it in half. Here we go.
So you swing with your mighty great sword at this sturge. Unfortunately, it is a tiny beast, a little hard to hit, and it is coming right at you. You thought you lined up your shot. It's a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
And it zooms right by you, but still is pretty near you. Right now, you are standing up at your table. The table is in between you and the troll. There's still a good amount of distance. You haven't really ascertained what the troll's, not motivation, but where he's heading right now.
Yeah.
Are you good where you're planted?
For now, yeah.
Excellent. Then that brings us to the next person, who is also quick to act, and that is Dolan. Well, listen, Dolan, although he is getting up in age, has a few extra pounds around the midsection. When you need to move quick, you can.
Yeah. Now, okay, here's what Dolan's thinking, and I want to do it. I don't know. Maybe this might be an insight check. So, I'm thinking this troll isn't trying to. Isn't coming up here with his mosquito friends to hurt people. He's trying to escape these mosquito things. So I'm thinking I want to see. I mean, I know this could be hard. Using my insight is like, oh, is this troll like in a bloodlust, or is this troll trying to get away from the sturges?
Okay, so you want to kind of ascertain this troll's current state of being.
Yeah, I would rather not fight a troll, but I'll fight mosquitoes if it makes the troll go away.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What languages has Dolan picked up over the years?
You know what? That's the issue. It's not troll.
Well, trolls speak a form of giant.
No, definitely no giant.
Okay. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to communicate directly with him. But listen, I feel like, in your time, you've worked with a lot of people, although not specifically troll, had a lot of troll-like features. So why don't you give me an insight check?
I'm just not great. I'm not
okay. So you rolled
good.
a 10. Yeah, which a 10 is it's right in the middle. It's not good.
It's
not
middle.
bad.
At least there's 2 digits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you're rolling and there's 2 digits, we're on the side of good.
Amen.
It's the single digits that you want to watch out for. So you are pretty sure that the reason this troll seems to be in a bad mood has to be the giant sturges that are drinking its blood. But it seems like how he's going to deal with this bad mood he's in is possibly to just, eat or destroy anything he could find. It doesn't
Okay.
seem like he is into enlightened conversation, but you could certainly try.
No. What I'm going to do is I am going to remove myself quickly away from the troll. And I guess it wasn't one of the Sturgies kind of flew off after Kavan missed him.
Yes.
I'm going to see if I can try to catch up to it. And all I brought was my dagger. Although I probably should have brought more than that, considering there's people in the city that I don't want to run into. But all I got is my dagger, so I'll try to go chase it down and try to stab that little guy.
You see Kavan miss his swipe. You kind of leap up with your dagger, easily pulling out. As you're leaping, this pain in your side, just listen, in the Forgotten Realms, they don't have a term for it. We know it's sciatica, but but basically it acts up. And you involuntarily kind of cringe.
Yeah.
You don't even come close to hitting this sturge. This thing's fast.
The ravages of middle age. And extra food.
It gets to you. It gets to you. As Dolan screams out, listen. Yeah, you scream when that's happening. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, the good part is the scream seems to affect the sturge, where it reels back from you and goes to the much larger meteor target that is Kavan the Mighty. One of these sturges, the very sturge that both Kavan and Dolan have tried and unfortunately failed to attack, is going to try and latch on to the meaty back flesh of Kavan. And it goes right in that part of the back, in the middle of the back where it's like you can never itch it, for some reason the sturge just zeroes right in on that middle back part and latches onto you with a 21 versus your AC. Kavan, he's agile, he's lithe, it's not wearing a lot of clothes, so he can move, but he can't move that quick. You take 6 piercing damage as just this terrible pain goes through you, and you there's actually an odd numbness that comes over you as it starts kind of draining some of your blood from you. But the pain from the sting was so bad that actually the numbness and the blood draining is almost a relief after that initial sting. Yeah, that's what you're dealing with right now. Penelope, things have gotten out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Despite being so scared of the orcs and the Eibelmen fighting, I immediately leap into action, surprisingly swift and cunning. And I climb onto the table just so I can have a better view, since I'm a small fry. And I have my hand crossbow in hand, and I'm just looking around if there's any of those sturges I can aim at. Do I have a clear shot to try to help Kavan?
So as you jump onto the table, it's at that very moment that Kavan screams out,
"Ouch!"
in pain, and he actually turns his back to you, and you see this massive sturge right in the middle of his back. And it's, as it stands, it's stationary. It's a pretty good shot right now.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to miss because,
Of course. But I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to take the risk to try to help my new soup-hungry friend. Let's see.
Something bit me.
Oh! You get out your hand crossbow, which, This is a hand crossbow, but in your hands it looks like
massive.
a full size, it's like heavy crossbow. But you handle it with deftness, and you puncture the sturge, and unfortunately it got a big meal of blood from Kavan already, and it kind of burst like a balloon. So Kavan is now covered in his own blood. Well, it might all, you're not sure if it's all your own blood. You don't know what the sturge was doing before he came out of the hole. But the sturge, that one at least, is absolutely dead.
Excellent.
And the troll is now ready to act. Now, luckily, well, let's see. Let's not use that word luck. Okay. The troll just begins by smashing straight down on a table directly in front of it. Some patrons, they scatter and scream, and in the wreckage, it now has picked up a large chunk of that table and is using it as a makeshift club, and is just, you see it actually trying to kind of like strike the sturges on its back with this club, and he does manage to splatter one of them, and that is what the troll is doing. It hasn't moved much further away from the pit at this point. It is now Chaz, a little stunned by all that's going on, but you are now ready to act.
Yeah, a little bit slow here, but man, Chaz is remembering warm summer nights out on school breaks, and if you have enough money, you can buy these candles that act as insect repellents, and you kind of set those out around your barbecue, and it kind of smells up the whole area, but the mosquitoes don't come by. I haven't seen sturges at a barbecue either before, so Chaz is going to use prestidigitation to cast the smell of insect repellent candles. Primarily on himself, but he's going to try to extend it to his friends as much as he can. So he's going to cast the smell of insect repellent on himself, and then he's going to run and try to kind of hide behind Kavan the Mighty, because he is a pretty good meat shield. So
yeah, it's kind of a stinging, pungent, sweet smell that is emanating from,
like a citrus almost.
Yeah. Listen, Chaz comes from a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? A certain tax bracket. Let's just say, to where his family was able to afford the finer things. But so this smell possibly isn't familiar to all of you, but it does definitely seem to have a reaction for the sturges. The other two that were nearby seem to be avoiding Chaz quite vigorously. That brings us back to the top of the initiative with Kavan the Mighty. So
does he
Kavan,
have like is it like, I imagine there's like almost a deflated balloon giant mosquito kind of flapping on his back as he moves around, and it's just kind of dripping blood a little bit here and there.
Yeah, the stinger unfortunately is still lodged in your back, and there are definite bits and pieces of the sturge that are attached to it. It's not a great look. Interesting question for Kavan. In this moment, like what is Kavan feeling?
He felt pain initially, some pain, and then his back's just all wet, so he can't see it. He thought maybe somebody threw a beer at him or something. He's not quite sure what's going on, but he knew that that these sturges are attacking him. So I think he really wants to make sure all these sturges are gone. He's angry at the sturges for sure, because whatever's going on, it's the sturges' fault.
Yeah, that's the one that caused you pain.
Yeah.
But does this pain, like what makes Kevin mad?
Pain is
pain
not
doesn't
always
make you mad, right?
Not really, no.
No. That's just part of life.
Yeah, it's just part of life. Pain is part of life.
Maybe if you accidentally spilled a bowl of bread bowl soup, that might make you angry, right?
Yeah. Like maybe loss of food. I think maybe seeing his friends get hurt probably will make him really mad.
Your own pain it is what it is.
Yeah.
You see now with Chaz nearby you, you are seeing the remaining 2 Sturges are beginning to fly away from you. But you think a hop, skip, and a jump off of a table, you might be able to get a swipe at one of them as they travel away, if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah, I think that's what I choose to do. I'm just want to kill every Sturgis now. That's my focus.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna slash at the hops.
Gripping your mighty sword,
Yeah.
you jump and leap off of the table directly
Mhm.
behind yours. The Sturge is within your sight, and you make the mighty downward swing.
Not good enough, I don't think.
No, so listen, it's your own strength that kind of got in the way this time. When you jumped off the table, you actually went a good 3 feet higher than the Sturge, and you swung, and your sword actually for a moment gets stuck in the banister of the upper level.
Yeah.
That's right behind you. But luckily for you, as your massive weight came down, the sword immediately dislodged. To the dismay of one of the patrons, you do land on them. They suffer some minor injuries, but good for them. They're now completely protected from the Sturges and the trolls because your massive form is on top of them. It's almost like you did them a favor. And once again, Kavan the Mighty. Although mighty, not very accurate with your swings. That brings us to Dolan, Shingle, Splinter. The 2 Sturges have definitely gotten some distance between you and your companions. The troll has not brought his attention towards you. You are seeing a lot of commotion and shouts. Give me a perception check, Dolan.
Can do. Hey,
okay.
20.
You see a mighty man behind the bar behind the bar, there is a massive greatsword that has kind of been on a plaque kind of on display. His hands have reached and gripped that massive sword. And he is very calmly taking the bar towel off his shoulder, putting it down on the bar. He's flipping up the little bar thing, and very confidently, but not terribly hurriedly, is striding towards the troll.
Okay. That's going to be fun. That's just another day at the yawning portal.
Yeah.
Clock in, punch in, wipe down the bar. Oh, kill the troll, punch out. Easy day. You know what I'm going to do? I want, since the Sturges are getting away, I want to, because I assume at this point there's probably mugs on the ground, and I only have 1 dagger, so I want to keep that dagger nearby.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pick up one of the mugs and try to toss it and see if I can bing one of them.
Are you proficient in improvised weapons?
No, I am not. So
Okay.
There'll be a -2 on this.
Actually, no. That's in another system.
Okay.
But in D&D 5th edition, essentially what that means is you don't add your proficiency bonus. So this will just be a straight dexterity check.
Okay, here we go.
You definitely do strike it. Why don't you roll a d4 to see how much damage this mug does?
4.
Excellent. The Yawning Portal prides itself on having non-edible utensils. All of their utensils are made from the most quality lead that you could find.
Non-edible utensils.
The purest lead. The plates, the silverware, the tankers, everything's made out of lead. And lead is heavy and
poisonous.
and is great for eating food out of.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get sick at the Yawning Portal, but that's neither here nor there. This massive lead tankard splatters the Sturge, leaving only 2 Sturges attached to the troll and 1 fluttering about. That one that is fluttering about, it is completely avoiding the 4 of you because of the aroma coming out off of Chaz, and attacks a patron. Patron screams. It's happening. It's fine.
This smell, Dolan, it's like, he can't help to and he's even he's trying to maybe get a little bit of it in there, to really affect, onto his tongue. It's almost like a citrus dessert with alcohol in it or something, like a boozy a boozy lemon tart or something.
Do you have something to
Yeah.
like write down, like kind of your recipe ideas?
Oh no, it's all in here.
You just
You
you just
know?
lock it in.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then when I have time, while I'm waiting for things to rise or cook, then I'll open up my little book and I'll put things down. Yeah. Right now, I got to keep it here.
I'm
but
excited.
I'll get it up.
Like Sturge's stew, maybe.
Yeah.
The Sturges otherwise occupied at this point. Penelope, the troll, is scarily close to you still, wielding a piece of a table rather erratically. You do see a massive man, the bartender, striding towards you. He is currently yelling to basically anyone, just yelling, "Get some fire on that troll," as he strides forward. The Sturges currently don't seem to be attacking you directly, although there is a human patron that is currently being drained of their blood from one of these Sturges. But with all this information that is flowing through Penelope's vision and mind right now, what does she do?
So the patron who's being drained of their blood, about how far are they from me?
I would say it's good, like 15, 20 feet about.
Okay. Well, I'm still looking pretty collected, but obviously I'm moving a little bit more frantic at this point, and I'm starting to feel a little concerned about the well-being of my cap. So I'm just gonna cling tightly to that, and being the good-natured gnome I am, I feel a little bit of an obligation to try to get this Sturges off of this poor unsuspecting patron. So I'm gonna aim at that one.
Oh, excellent. Let your bolt fly. I think the situation has gotten to you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
This bolt goes a little high. Actually goes kind of up into the second level, and you do hear a...
I'm so sorry.
But you couldn't see specifically. It flew a little wide and wild. The troll at this point is actually going to act. You see just like an oil lantern fly from somewhere from the crowd. It flies over Kavan's head, so it's somewhere behind Kavan, and it hits the troll. The fire erupts. The troll like gets just angry, but unfortunately his anger seems to be directed at Kavan because of how the fire was thrown at you.
It's all of its understanding.
Yeah, the troll throws this massive chunk of table right at Kavan, but it goes terribly high, goes up into the second level.
Here's another.
A second time! I should not have come here this evening!
As someone else upstairs gets hit by this flying piece of detritus. Luckily for you, Kavan, you're in the clear. Chaz, you're up.
Yeah. Well, Chaz's recently, especially, his normal reaction to stress is to start fires. It's just this weird compulsion. And specifically in the past few weeks, he's been trying not to do that indoors, like, as much. But yeah, that one big guy did say, like, fire, and other people are throwing fire. So
it seems like you got yourself a free pass.
Yeah. So as a free action on this free pass, Chaz says, "It's my time," and then he casts bonfire just right where the troll and the Sturges are standing. Create bonfire.
You delve down into this well of magic and create a bonfire. I'm assuming kind of like right at the troll's feet.
Yeah, at his feet.
Yeah,
Just trying to get the troll and maybe the two Sturges on his back as well.
It's an interesting thing to see. It looks like a campfire with no fuel has just erupted right there. The flames are crackling, and in another situation it could actually be considered quite cozy. But to the troll, this is quite terrible. They do not like this, and they try to dodge out of the way of it, of course. And the troll, having just been hit by fire, he was on his toes, and he dives out of the way before the flames could catch him. But the fire persists, and it is there.
You're gonna box him in. Box him
Yeah,
in, you know what I'm saying?
Chaz
You could
has
eventually
this
do
this manic grin on his face. Like, it's
It's
good whether
at-
he hits the troll or not.
It's at this point that the barkeep has finally made his way up to the troll, and
I want to believe that, like, as he's coming in, he'll pick up a chair that fell,
yes,
right, on the way, straighten out this table or whatever. Like, he has work he has to get to when this is all over, so why not start right now?
No, like he pushed in a chair. There was one of the table was evacuated of patrons, but they left all their utensils, and like he actually kind of like waves to someone and points down at the table, and they give a nod, and someone's coming up to bust the table, because listen, I mean, you know, the night has to go on, and
Yeah.
empty tables are not paying the bills. This massive figure, now that he's close, most of you, well, actually, probably at least Dolan and perhaps a few of you may have deduced this, but this is the proprietor of this establishment, the owner, known simply as Duran, and he is a gnarled man, but has kept himself quite physically fit, as he easily lifts this massive sword and goes into almost a lazily sword routine as he strikes the mighty troll not once, not twice, but 3 times in a quick succession. The troll screams out and has now focused all of his attention on the mighty Duran. It does not seem like the troll will be able to stand long against him. Kavan the Mighty, what do you want to do?
Man, I think I want to go help out Duran. I think. Am I close enough to go in there?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to stand up. You're upon another patron, you know, protecting them, guarding them. It's only a matter of a few steps for you to go stand toe to toe.
Go help out Duran, I guess.
Yeah, as you come and get into step, Duran's movements are well practiced. He easily incorporates you into his sword dance, gives you a curt kind of nod, opens up the troll for an attack.
All right, here we go.
Hey, there we go.
Ooh. This,
Nice.
the third and possibly final time Kavan gets to show off his might. You connect easily, dealing a massive 9 damage to the troll as you slice open his flank. Dolan Shingle Splinter, what do you do?
You know, he's on fire. You know what? It seems like the 2 big beefy dudes have this in hand. So, and I see that Penelope was trying to assist one of the patrons, and Chaz seems to be having fun doing something. I don't know. He's having a really good time.
I'm snapping my fingers and
Yeah.
we're having a great time.
Fuego!
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I want to. How far away was that patron that Penelope was trying to help?
So it's on your level, like towards the back.
Okay.
I don't know, like 20, but definitely within 30 feet of you.
You know what? I'm feeling it. I'm feeling lucky,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
This
You
poor
know,
patron.
my sciatica has gone down, right? I'm limber now. I've been able to move and kind of stretch. You know what I'm saying? My trick knee kind of stopped popping, you know? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop off from the side of the table and just sidearm shoot that dagger, boom, and see if I can knock the Sturgis off the
Rogue
out.
Sturge.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. How would I do this?
It's the same as a melee attack. You're just as proficient as throwing as you would.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have a dexterity bonus and a strength negative.
Well, a dagger is a finesse weapon, allowing you to use dexterity even while throwing it.
I must be getting the rules for Pathfinder 2.0 confused. Oh, I missed.
Yep. It goes high, careens off of a post in the rafter, and you hear a scream.
I have just taken this crossbow bolt out of my arm to be stabbed in the back. Why? Why didn't I listen to my mother and stay home this evening?
I imagine there's going to be a very upset and distraught lady up there. We're going to see. I'm not going to get my dagger back. I'll just leave it up there.
We mean well.
Yeah, we're trying.
That is, of course, a miss. Well, I mean, you hit something. Just wasn't what you were aiming for.
Still going to get XP, baby.
Okay. The sturge that was feasting on this patron, the patron kind of like passes out and falls down, and the sturge like almost groggily gets up and starts kind of flying back towards the literal yawning portal in the middle of the room. And Penelope, it is now your turn to act.
You know, the good citizen in me really wants to try to help this patron, but I just hate how it's been going. I'm still, I assume I'm still kind of crouched under this like table, kind of protecting my cap first and foremost.
Yes.
The cap is okay. Do I have, like, what kind of visibility do I have on the troll itself?
So
right now?
it's very easy for you to see. Like, although you're pretty confident that the troll can't see you, although technically they could see your cap. The trolls at this point is only like maybe 10 feet away from you. You have the table and some chairs between you and the troll.
Okay. I think I might cut my losses with trying to help the innocent, because we've been hurting the innocent, and I'm gonna take this crossbow of mine that is small for most but large for me, and try to just kind of get a good shot on this troll, maybe like right in the shoulder.
Yeah, the troll's very preoccupied right now with Kavan the Mighty and the great Duran, and so yeah, take that shot.
All right.
It should be easy, right?
Yeah. And it seems like it was decently easy.
Oh, yes, that is a direct hit. Being so preoccupied, it doesn't seem to notice it exactly too much. But, I mean, you see your bolt. It's stuck in the troll's haunches, so, it's not going anywhere. The fire seems to be doing its job of staving off the troll's natural regenerative properties. That being said, the troll does make one last terrible effort to try and swing at the most dangerous of these foes, which unfortunately isn't Kavan the Mighty. I mean, Kavan can be dangerous, but it is Duran that has done the most damage to him. He takes a massive swing at him with claws and mouth. Duran does take a nasty little gash from the claws, but fends off the mouth. But leaving himself open like that, Duran was then able to thrust his mighty greatsword up through the troll's jaw into its brain, and that seemed to be the last straw for this troll. It drops to the ground. Duran pulls his mighty sword out. He rather gingerly, he lays it down on a table right next to him. He seems to have kind of a great reverence for this weapon. And then he looks to Kavan and says, "Give me a hand with this. Let's toss this back into the hole."
Oh yeah, of course.
Kavan and Duran, Kavan and Duran. That's fun to say.
Sitting in a tree.
Kavan and Duran sitting in a tree with a T-O. I don't know how to spell
Troll.
ING, trolling.
Trolling on the internet.
I
All right, you
Nailed
pick up
it.
this massive troll and are able to slide it off into the pit. The pit is deep enough that it takes a little while before you hear the splat at the end. He gives Kavan a slap on the shoulder and says, "Thank you for that. Name's Duran. What's your name?"
Oh, I'm Kevin. Kavan. Sorry, Kavan. I'm Kavan. Can I look at your sword? I'm not gonna touch it. I just want to look.
Oh, you can touch it, dude.
Yeah, I want to pick up the sword.
Yeah, it is amazingly well balanced, and it feels, although it does have quite a heft to it. It almost takes no effort to move it through the air.
This sword feels good.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. If I wasn't so preoccupied, I'd tell you the story of how I got it. But maybe that'll be for the other night. But hey, next round's on the house for you, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
He then kind of like picks up his sword, holds it up. Everyone cheers, and he yells,
Huzzah!
"Everyone, just another night in the yawning portal. You're welcome for the free show."
That was awesome.
Did the other sturge just fly into
Fly
the
back
portal?
down there. Yeah.
Yeah. It being drawn, and the two attached to the troll went down with it. I think the troll blood was a little bit more for it to handle. Because the thing is, once you drink the troll blood, your belly never stops getting full because the blood keeps replicating itself until eventually those sturges would just explode, which they do down in the pit.
I don't believe that.
It's
Urban
regenerative.
legend.
It's regenerative. So yeah.
So they're always full. That's perfect.
The encounter with the troll is over. The hustle and bustle of the yawning portal recovers quite quickly. The broken table is taken into the back and replaced by another table. Everyone sits back down. Drinks are being what you may or may not notice is that there were still many tables being bussed in the middle of this kerfuffle. It's quite amazing how easily it snaps back into focus. You definitely do see the striking figure of the half orc lady sitting back down. You do not see the eyeball tattooed Eibelman. They seem to have used the distraction to get away from a fight that they were obviously losing. Soon after things settle down and your drinks do arrive, a man approaches your table. He has definitely seen some years. There's a lot of gray in his beard and his hair. He has a giant flopping hat and white mustaches. He takes off the floppy hat, gives you a little bow, and says, "Yes, hello. My name is Volo. I'm sure you've heard of me. I couldn't help but notice how deftly you handled yourself in that situation. And I am actually looking for some people to hire that seem to have some skills exactly like you have." Well, that is all we have for you today on the 20-Sided Realms podcast. Will our heroes accept the job? You'll have to wait and see. Until next time on the 20-Sided Realms.
Badly.
Intro music composed by Symphonikev, and again the soundscapes created by Syrinscape.com. Thank you so much for listening to the 20-Sided Realms. If you liked what you heard, please share it with others. Until next time.